Right, let's get into it now with my panel, Sky News contributor, former Liberal Minister Gary Hargrave, and Liberal MP, well, LNP MP, Keith Pitt. Gents, welcome. I'm going to start with this nuclear submarine issue, and I'm holding out some hope we're going to get some common sense, Keith Pitt, on nuclear power. If we can have 20,000 direct jobs and all of these PhDs and 8,500 people involved in construction, if we can do all of that, we've always been told we can't have nuclear power because we haven't got the personnel and the expertise. Well, we have it for the subs. We're going to get some common sense on power as well, Keith.
Well, you get knocked off the donkey a lot of times on the road to Damascus, Peter, but we're nearly there. I mean, the short summary is that we're going to have nuclear submarines. They'll have nuclear reactors. Richard Marles is committed to building them in Australia. In fact, in Adelaide, we had a US congressman say on the weekend that they will have a 33-year life without refuelling, so you'll have radioactive waste of a particular level you have to deal with. And I don't see how you do any of that without lifting the moratorium, so we may as well just get on with it. Why wait? Let's start getting into this industry right now.
Exactly. Hallelujah. Gary, I've got to ask you, I saw something interesting over the weekend. The Nationals dumped their Cessnock candidate, Ash Barnum was his name, over a series of tweets and sexual and racist material he put on social media, all of it long deleted. But the Labor Party unearthed it all using an online device called Wayback that actually can find old deleted social media posts. Now, this has got to be pretty scary if you're a young person and wants to put your hand up in the future. Nothing ever dies in the online world.
Well, it seems not. Look, and indeed a Liberal candidate on the Central Coast apparently has got the same problem. So, you know, the Labor Party are finding all this muck. But there are also apps that will invent people's profiles and put stuff in too. So, Peter, the bottom line is there are kids right now who are active in the youth wings of various political parties, and I've heard it around the Liberal National Party here in Queensland saying, I'm keeping a record of this bloke's texts, I'm taking a screenshot, so if he ever runs for something that I want to run for, I'll get him. So games are being played right now. It's real. It's pathetic, but it is real, Peter.
It's going to keep good people out of politics, I fear that, in the future. Paul Broad.
I think so.
He was the former head of Snowy 2.0. It was only meant to cost us $2 billion. They now say it'll cost us $20 billion. It's running years and years behind. The former CEO, as I said, Paul Broad, he was pretty scathing. He said, we're just not up to this renewables ambition. And he was pretty tough on Chris Bowen as well. Surely we've got to think seriously about, given all this, budget expenditure in the future, particularly on submarines and defence, Keith, maybe we've got to rethink this project because it's bleeding money.
Oh, Peter, I remember getting my fingers slapped for saying it'd cost $10 billion. Guess what? It will. But CEOs of these organisations have other responsibilities. I mean, there's a thing called industrial manslaughter they can be charged with if they don't keep their people safe. They've got to make technical decisions. I mean, you can't override the rules of physics and engineering simply because you're an idealist and you want to make something happen. No matter how much you screw up your face and wish for it, it doesn't make it a reality. And his comments today that we'll need 8 Snowy Hydro 2.0s to give you anywhere near balance and the backup needed, well, that is an extraordinary amount of money. That it just won't happen. And as we were saying earlier, got an opportunity for nuclear right now. If you can put it in a submarine and send it under the ocean, surely, Peter, we can put it on a block of concrete that won't move on a very stable continent to deliver baseload power for all Australians.
Now, gents, I'm sure you're both avid followers of the Melbourne Fashion Festival. It was on over the last few days, but there's something in it that was a joke. You can both laugh because I'm not holding you to it. There was something in an outfit that went down the runway that's caused a huge furore inside the Muslim community in Melbourne. The outfit was made of a transparent fabric, so it's translucent. It had Arabic script all the way over it, and Allah was mentioned in the script. This caused offence to the Islamic community. There was an immediate apology, profuse apology from the Melbourne Fashion Festival and the designer. But it shows, Gary, there's a different treatment in Australia depending on your religion when you put that against what happened on the project.
Well, the word Allah is the Arabic word for God, and it's true for Arabic Christians as it is for Muslims. So Peter, just get that on the record. But look, apparently the script said, I walk with God. That's what the script said, and it's translucent, it's sheer, so therefore a bit suggestive. So understandably, people get upset. Look, I get it, but it is Melbourne. Melbourne automatically believes that they have to apologise for anybody who's going to take offence. But, you know, frankly, all of us in public life, and indeed those running public events, you've just got to understand that there's a fine line between funny and offensive, and we all have to try and bring people together. So I get it. I don't understand why the projects have been allowed to be to get away with it. I think whoever currently owns the 10 networks should really be sacking that entire program because of the rubbish they put to air. Bad editorial decisions there. But Peter, I can understand why the Muslims in particular were upset. Some of them more recently arrived are going to be more upset than those who've been here a long time. Pretty simple.
Jen's got to leave there. Keith Pitt, Gary Hargrave, thank you as always.